Which soldier had a secret life outside the military that shocked everyone? Private Wyatt Greer was the quietest guy in our platoon. Never talked about home, never got phone calls, never had visitors on family day. We figured he was just intensely private. The guy was average at everything military. Middle of the pack on PT scores, decent shot, nothing special. Followed orders without complaint, kept his head down, never caused problems or stood out. Only weird thing about Wyatt was his weekends. Every single Friday evening, he'd disappear off base immediately after final formation. Wouldn't come back until Sunday night. Never once said where he went. My buddy Nolan asked him directly once, got a secret girlfriend somewhere or something. Wyatt just shrugged without making eye contact. Something like that. We let it go after that. Everyone needs their privacy. Military life is invasive enough without your battle buddies interrogating you about personal time. Then came the battalion talent show. Commander's idea for unit morale building. Each company had to provide at least 3 volunteer acts. Nobody wanted to participate. Singing or performing in front of 500 soldiers? Absolute nightmare scenario. Our first sergeant was getting desperate, practically begging for volunteers. That's when Wyatt slowly raised his hand. I can do something, first sergeant. First sergeant looked genuinely surprised. Wyatt never volunteered for anything optional. What exactly is your talent, Greer? Music. We all exchanged confused looks around the room. Wyatt had never mentioned anything about music before. Didn't even own headphones as far as anyone knew. Never hummed, never tapped rhythms, nothing. What kind of music? First sergeant asked skeptically. Piano. There was definitely a piano in the recreation center. Old, slightly out of tune, mostly used as a table for people's energy drinks during game nights. First sergeant shrugged, clearly just relieved to have another act. Fine, you're in. Don't embarrass the company. Night of the talent show finally arrived. We sat through some specialists doing stand-up comedy that completely bombed. Painful silence after every joke. Another soldier did amateur magic tricks with a deck of cards. Pretty boring overall. Then Wyatt walked onto that stage. No sheet music in his hands, no notes on the stand. Just sat down at that beat-up old piano and adjusted the bench height. The room was still noisy with chatter. People talking to their neighbors, not paying real attention. Just another amateur performance to endure before hitting the barracks. Wyatt placed his fingers on the keys and started playing. The entire room went dead silent within 5 seconds. His fingers moved across those keys like absolutely nothing I'd ever witnessed. Classical music, incredibly complicated stuff with runs and chords that seemed physically impossible. I don't know anything about piano or music theory, but I knew instinctively that I was watching something extraordinary. This wasn't hobby-level playing. This wasn't YouTube tutorial skill. This was professional, world-class talent. The piece built and built, getting more intense with every measure. Wyatt's whole body moved naturally with the music, swaying slightly. His eyes were closed, completely lost somewhere else. When he finished, nobody moved or spoke. Complete stunned silence for maybe 3 full seconds. Then the place absolutely exploded. Standing ovation from 500 soldiers. People shouting, whistling, stomping their boots on the floor. Wyatt just nodded awkwardly at the applause and walked off stage quickly, like he'd done nothing remotely special. After the show ended, we immediately surrounded him outside. Where the hell did that come from, man? He finally opened up and told us everything. Before enlisting, Wyatt had been a professional concert pianist, performed with major symphonies across Europe and Asia, won international competitions as a teenager, had recording contracts with major labels. Why'd you give all that up for the army? Nolan asked, completely bewildered. Wyatt got very quiet for a moment. My younger brother was killed in Afghanistan, IED outside Kandahar. He always wanted me to serve alongside him, but I was too focused on my music career. After he died, I couldn't play anymore. Every note felt wrong somehow, so I enlisted instead, wanted to finish what he started. Those mysterious weekend trips finally made sense. He'd been driving 3 hours each way to a small church that let him practice alone on their grand piano, said he was slowly starting to heal inside, starting to feel the music returning. Our battalion commander eventually found out about Wyatt's incredible background, made some phone calls to people he knew, pulled some strings and made special arrangements. 3 months later, Wyatt performed at an official military appreciation concert downtown. Full professional orchestra backing him, thousands of people in attendance, including generals and politicians. He played an original piece he composed specifically for his brother, called it Unfinished Mission. I watched the entire performance on television from our barracks day room. Whole platoon gathered around that small screen together. When he struck that final note, the camera caught him looking up toward the ceiling and whispering something nobody could hear. Nolan wiped his eyes with his sleeve. What do you think he said up there? Nobody answered out loud. We all already knew. Wyatt finished his full enlistment with honors 2 years later, went back to performing professionally around the world, but now he exclusively plays at veterans events, military hospitals, and memorial ceremonies. Says that's where the music actually matters most. Last month, I saw his name featured on a promotional poster downtown, performing at Walter Reed Medical Center for wounded soldiers and their families. The tagline underneath his photo read, "Music for Heroes, performed by a hero." His little brother would have absolutely loved seeing that.